Welcome to the session today. I hope you all can hear me. Let us start the session, right? Okay. Yeah. So I think if you remember, yesterday we had seen some basic concepts related to the Google Cloud Platform. So if I have to talk about that, we have just seen how we can interact with the GCP services. Okay. So if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, we have 4 ways. Okay, so one of the way is that console is a web user interface where we can able to interact with the Google Cloud Platform using a console. That means user interface, UI tool. Okay, visually we are going to interact with it. And one more that is Cloud Shell. A Cloud Shell is a command line interface which is also a web command line interface where you can able to interact with the GCP services via commands. So if you wanted to interact with the command line, you have to activate the Cloud Shell. Once you have activated the Cloud Shell, you have to remember that wherever you try to interact with it, first select the project and try to interact with those services. What is meant by interaction, we will be seeing in our upcoming classes. Don't worry about that. Okay, and one more way is that you can also interact with, for example, if you have your application running or if you have your web server running and they are connected to the one of the service in the GCP, they're going to be connected via APIs or they're going to be connected via applications. So many things are also there. Okay, so you have also a client library support which you can able to interact with the GCP services as well. Okay, so this is one thing. And we have seen what is Cloud Console, what is Cloud Shell, and I have also told you about this note. And we have also seen the console walkthrough. Today, we're going to learn about the GCP locations, which is also a very important thing. I will tell you why it is important in next few minutes. Okay, so let us start the session. Great. So when it comes to the GCP, you have a GCP 5 locations available, guys. So when it comes to the GCP Google Cloud Platform, GCP is going to be organizing its resources in these 5 locations. So when I look at it, for example, so we now know that, so if one wanted to provide the infrastructure, that infrastructure has to be available somewhere in the data center. So all of these 5 locations, for example, if the GCP has some architecture or infrastructure, that entire infrastructure is organized properly in this particular 5 locations. Okay, so GCP has 5 operating its infrastructure in 5 locations. One is North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. So all of these locations have its GCP's infrastructure divided properly. Okay, so these locations, these are the locations, right? These locations are further divided into regions. The regions are further divided into zones. Okay, so total GCP locations are 5. GCP regions are 37 so far. Until today, the GCP is operating its resources in these number, guys. So the locations are 5. The regions are 37 and the zones are 117. Okay, what is this one, sir? I couldn't able to understand it. Just think like this. So if there is think about a banking sector. So think about a SBI, State Bank of India. So State Bank of India having its banking locations in all over the India. Okay, think that India is one of the location. Okay, so in India we have like more than 30 states. In each state is nothing but a region now. So each state will also further divided into districts. So each district is having plenty of the SBI. You can think of places, locations, right? So that is how GCP also divided its infrastructure into multiple locations. Each location is divided into multiple regions. Each region is further divided into multiple zones. So if you are unable to understand this concept, So I have here a very good diagram. So let me go there first. Okay, so if you think that this is the location A, so we have 5 locations, right? If we assume that this is a one of the location A will have a plenty of regions. Assume that region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4, and region 5, region 6, region 7 also will be there. Each region will have its own zones: zone A, zone B, zone C, zone D, something like this. And each zone will have its, each zone is connected to the one more zone via like this. Very good high potential network is connected between each zone, so interact with the each zone. So each zone is again interacted with the one more zone also via network, and each zone will have its own resources. Okay, so this is what nothing. For example, in the zone here we have a virtual machines. In zone here we have a disk. So zone B will also have some kind of resources. So this is how GCP's infrastructure is divided and stored logically in each location, region, and zone. You can think like this. Okay, if you are unable to understand this concept, you can think like this. So for example, if you are working in a company will have a plenty of projects. So assume that this is one of the project will have a project manager. Project manager, and in the project you will be having a plenty of the developers. So developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. So now you can see, so company have a plenty of the projects, project will have a plenty of the developers, and there is a one manager. So manager, each project will have a one more manager, right? So this is how. For example, but who is the actual person who are doing the development here in the project? So developers are the ones actually doing the project. That means, so the company is totally dependent on the developers who are actually doing the work. Likewise, if you can look at it here, so even though GCP is divided into locations, GCP is divided into regions and zones, all the compute options, all the resources are actually be stored in the zones. Okay, what is a zone? We will see in a minute. Okay, so zones are the ones having the actual infrastructure. Okay, so why we have to understand this thing? Let us try to understand, but try to understand this concept very clearly. Okay, let me remove this thing. Hope you got that idea, that GCP's infrastructure is divided into locations. Locations have a regions, regions have a zones. And remember the number as well. Locations are 5, regions are so far. So this could be increased maybe next year. Okay, 37 maybe become 38, 39 also. Okay, that is one thing. And so if you wanted to see what are the regions are, you will be able to see here the region. So in India also we have a Mumbai is a one of the region, and Delhi also one of the region. That means this is region, and inside this region you are also having a some zones. Zone A. So we have a south zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 is also there. Okay, so that is one thing. Yes, south 1, south 2, south 3. So that is also there for us. Okay, and if you wanted to clearly understand, this diagram gives you some idea. So the GCP's infrastructure is divided into regions and zones. Each region is a collection of zones, right? Each region is a collection of zones. Each location is a collection of regions. Okay, assume that this is our entire globe. Okay, assume that this is our entire globe. In globe, we will be having a US, we will be having a Europe. Likewise, we'll also be having a Asia, we'll also be having a some other North America, South America, like that. 5 locations are there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I assume that this is Europe. If I take Europe, Europe will be having multiple regions. So region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. So Europe will be having it's a plenty of the regions. So let me take one of the region. Okay, sorry. This is actually wrong. So this is only one region. Europe will be having one more region here, one more region here, one more region. Europe will be having a plenty of regions. So that's the reason it is a multi-region. Okay, Europe is a location. In Europe location, you will be having a multiple region. Region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. So that's the reason it is called as a multi-regions. And each region, so when I took at one region, so that is named as Europe West 2. Europe West 2 is one of the region in the Europe location. Okay, one of the region in the Europe location. So when you look at the Europe region, you will be having a plenty of zones again. So when you look at the zone, Europe West 2 is a 1, 2A is a one zone, 2B is a one more zone, 2C is a one more zone. So this is how the nomenclature, you will be understanding two things here. Where are the, how the locations are divided, and how the regions are divided, and how the zones are divided. And you will also understand the nomenclature here. So Europe West 2, Europe West 1, Europe West 3, Europe West 4, that is a regions inside the Europe. And when I take Europe West 2, Europe West 2 is a region, it will be having its zone. That's nomenclature for that zone is that Europe West 2A, Europe West 2B, Europe West 2C, and Europe West 2C. So this is how you will also be able to, divide your GCP locations, sir. Why and how? What is the important? I will talk in a very few minutes. If you don't understand the requirement, you don't understand the concept at all. But I will go there. Okay, one by one. I just want you to understand that these regions or zones are logically divided based on the resource allocation. Okay, so let us see. First of all, I have just told you this thing, and let us see what is the definition of a region. So regions are independent geographic areas that consist of zones. Correct? Right. Zones are the regions. That zones and regions are logical abstraction of underlying physical resources provided in one or more data centers. See, regions and zones are logically divided based on the resources. That point it is saying. And each region consists of one or more data center. What is meant by data centers? Or don't assume that the data center is something. Data center is nothing but a, so if you have one server, that is one server only. So in a data center, you have a plenty of servers connected together. That's it. That is nothing but a data center. Okay, a data center is nothing but a multiple servers are stored in one location is nothing but a data server. So each, but why we need, why they are storing it? So we are unable to, as a company, I am unable to manage my infrastructure. Someone has to provide it. So their business, the Google Cloud or the AWS or the Azure, their entire business is to store this data center in one location. Okay, store these resources in one location, calling them as a data center, and their business is to provide these resources to the companies so that they will be able to deploy their applications on these data centers. Okay, so this is how. And each region is consist of one or more data centers. GCP regions are designed to provide the high availability and low latency for applications and services deployed in these regions. Why these regions are divided into multiple locations? For example, assume that, okay, you can think like this. Okay, you have a US only, they can have, but they can put all of these data centers in US only. Why they are putting in different locations? Tell me, sir. For example, US is there, UK is there, North America is there, South America is there. So they can just put all these data centers in one location only. What is the problem? If they put all of this in one location only, our India is far away from the US. Okay, India is far away from the US. If Indians are the ones who are using some applications. If you wanted to deploy that application in India server, that if you deploy this Indian application in India server, so it will be available to the entire user, so they can able to directly connect it to that application very fast. But if that application is deployed in these data centers, India is very far away and they are connected via network. So Indian people, whenever trying to access that application, it will be taking a lot of time. Okay, so that is the reason. I'm going to tell it one more way so that you will be able to understand it very clearly. Now see that one. For example, so this is US and this is India. Okay, so in India, there are few people who will be using the application called what is that gaming application? I would say, okay, just say any of the games, sir. Any of the game, they are trying to use it. Okay, some Sudoku or whatever the application, they are trying to use it every day. But what is happened is that, so one of the gaming company, they are developed this game, and they wanted to deploy in one particular public cloud, nothing but a Google Cloud or AWS. So what they try to do, so if they have their all the resources in US, what they try to do, if this is a startup company, they're going to deploy this application, this gaming application on these servers. Okay, so via network. So now all these users of these games are there in India. Okay, user 1, user 2, user 3. Now whenever some user is trying to access that application, they have to connect it to a network which was hosted in this particular data center. Okay, via network they have to do. So whenever a user is trying to access that application which is very far away via network, there is a delay. No one wanted to use your application if there is a delay. Okay, if there is a network, if there is a network lag. So that is the reason the Google Cloud Platform has divided the infrastructure not only in the US, they have also divided we have also have one more location, that is Asia. Okay, so in Asia also we have a region. Okay, Asia is one of the location. But again, look at here, sir, again, even though Asia is also very far for me, so that is the reason they have implemented a concept of regions. So in India, we have a Delhi region, we have a Mumbai region. So instead of deploying the application in the US, again, there is a lag. If I even if I deploy my application in the Asia also, again, it is a lag. Right, again some amount of network delay will be there. If I deploy my application in very near to my location, the application availability is very high, my users are going to use the application very fast. So that's the reason. So there is a concept of locations are further divided into regions are further divided into zones. What is the main intention of this one? This is a point, sir. GCP regions, location, zones are designed to provide high availability, low latency. What is mean by that, sir? The application is highly available. That means if you try to access that application, that in the next second it will be accessed. Again, low latency means the latency is very less. That means the accessing the application, the seek time for the application is very less. Okay, so the main idea for dividing the locations into regions and zone is the reason. Okay, so this is the reason. So if the Google Cloud Platform is not provided this much clear cut regions and zones near to me, why would I use the public cloud? I will go to one other cloud, right? So that's the reason Google has its own infrastructure divided in entire global, and that's the reason it is a global infrastructure. It is divided as infrastructure globally, so that's why it is called as a global infrastructure provider. Okay, so this is a region, sir. Let us try to see what is the region one more time. And regions are the independent geographic areas that consist of zones. Zones and regions are a logical abstraction of underlying physical resources provided in one or more physical data centers. Each region consists of one or more data centers, and GCP regions are designed to provide high availability, low latency for applications and services deployed in these regions. One of the example for the region is US Central 1. The name for that US Central 1 is LOA. It is there in USA. And one more is zones, sir. What is this zone? Actually, we just have seen that zone is the one which is having the actual resources stored. Okay, what is a zone, sir? This is a zone which is having all the resources. Okay, you might have seen locations. Location does not have resources directly. Locations have regions. Regions have zones. Zones will have the resources. When I say resources, nothing but an infrastructure. So when I have an infrastructure, someone will deploy their applications inside the infrastructure. So that is the reason it is defined like this. A zone is a deployment area for Google Cloud resources within a region. It is a deployment area. What is mean by deployment area, sir? If you look at the zone will have a resources. infrastructure. Zone will have the infrastructure. On infrastructure, you deploy the application. So that means that is the reason they call it as a zone is a deployment area for deploying your application within a region. And zones are physically separated within a region, physically separated from each other within a region to provide fault tolerance and resilience. I'm going to talk about this thing in next 2 minutes. What is this one? I will talk about it. See, now look at here. I wanted to talk it now itself. Look at here. Okay, I can go to this diagram. Okay, now see here. What is happened is that you have a one application 1. Okay, this application you have deployed in zone 1. Resources on virtual machine or any of the resources in the zone 1 you have deployed. Okay, what if your zone 1 is crashed? What if your zone 1 is crashed? What will happen to your application, sir? Your application cannot be accessible by anyone. That means you are going to lose your customers. Okay, so that is the reason what they have invented is that, what they have discovered is that, so they don't deploy their application in one location only. So while they are deploying their application, they will select a multi-zones. Okay, they select an option called multi-zones. They are deploying zone 1A, but they select a multi-zones. Whenever they select a multi-zone, the deployment is not only available in the zone A, it will also be available in the zone B also. That means this application deployment will be available in the zone B also. How, sir? Via broad network, this application deployment will also be available here. This is called as a replication. Even though the zone 1 is crashed due to some failovers, you can able to have your data, or you can able to have your users connected to your zone B. Okay, so this way you will be able to, that is the main intention of mentioning me the point called fault tolerance. Okay, so you see here, zones are physically separate from each other within a region and provide fault tolerance and resilience. How, sir? Each zone within a region is connected through a high bandwidth and low latency network. So whenever you mention multi-zones, that application or the data will be replicated to the one more zone. So even though one of the zone is crashed due to some failovers, you will be able to have your customers connected to the application via one more zone deployment. Okay, so that is what is a one more important aspect, regions and zones. Okay, what is a region, sir? A region is an independent geographic area that consists of zones. A zone is a deployment area where the actual resources are resides here. Okay, how zones are connected? Zones are connected via high bandwidth and low latency network to avoid the fault tolerance and resilience. Okay, so how do we select, sir? What is the how I can select a region and a zone whenever I wanted to deploy my application? So do we have any methods? Do we have any tactics that we have to follow? So if you wanted to do so, so one of that is, look at here. When deploying your resources in the GCP, it is important to consider the proximity of the region or zone to your target users or customers. Okay, what is this point, sir? When deploying the resources in GCP, it's important to consider the proximity of region or zone to target users and customers. What is this one? See here, sir, I have a US, I have a India, nothing but a Asia. Okay, let me mention that it as an India. So this is an India. Okay, so my application is used by the Indian people. My application is used by the Indian people. If I wanted to deploy the application, I am the person who developed my application, I am from India. If I deploy my application in Indian servers or Indian data centers, then okay, if I deploy my application in Indian data centers, then the network lag or the availability will keep on increase if I deploy it in India only. If I deploy it in some other, if I might have my application, If I deploy it here, the network lag is less. But if I deploy it here all the way in the UK, the users are connected to the UK network, there is a network lag, the availability is lesser, they are not able to connect. They have to wait for some time to connect it to the application. So the very important thing is that whenever you are deploying the resources, look at your target customers. Where are your target customers? If your target customers are near in India, deploy your application near to that particular location. If your users are there in US, try to deploy your application near to your USP, target customers. So that is how you have to deploy. This is one more important feature, important point whenever you are selecting a region or zone. Okay, so that is clear, I believe. And one more important point is to deploy fault tolerant application with high availability and help protect against unexpected failures. Deploy your applications across multiple zones in a region. This is what I have just told you. In each region, you will be having, for example, if you assume that this is a region, each region will have a zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. More than 3 zones will be there, sir. More than 3 zones will be there. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5. Okay. So whenever you are deploying your application, if you think that this is your application, whenever you're deploying your application, if you just deploy it in only one zone, what will happen is that, okay, so if your application, if this particular zone is crashed due to some issues, your application cannot be used by the users. So users wanted to connect it to this application which you are deployed in this zone, but this zone is crashed, they cannot be able to connect it. But whenever you are deploying your applications, try to go for multiple zones option. When you go for multiple zones option, your application deployment will be there, will also be there. Okay, will also be there. So even though this zone is crashed, users can able to connect it to this zone automatically. They can able to connect it to this zone automatically. Logically, it will be connected the backend. So this is the one more important. Whenever you are wanted to, sir, my application is used by plenty of the people. This is a critical application. I don't want it to take any of the risk. So that is the reason. Important thing is to deploy your applications across multiple zones, if it is possible across multiple regions. Okay, so that is the one more important point. Okay, and the third point is, sir, it is essential to it's also essential to understand the pricing and availability of the resources across different regions and zones as they may vary. So what is that point, sir? He is saying that, sir, you have a locations, you have a regions, you have a zones. Sir, zone 2, zone 1, zone 1, zone 2. Sir, in the zone 1 you have a VM. In zone 2 also we have a VM. Sir, what do you say, sir? The cost of this VM and this VM is same or not? They say that it will not be same. If it is here 10, it could be 15 rupees. Okay. So what they say is that it is essential. It is also important to understand the pricing and availability of the resources, because the cost may vary between multiple regions, multiple zones. Okay, for the same service, the cost in one zone could be same, could be something. In one more cost, it could be something. Okay, so we should be understanding this point that the cost may vary between the zones, between the regions. And one more thing I want you to understand is that here, that is cost perspective. One more is availability of the resources. So you have a locations, you have a regions, you have a zones, zone 1, zone 2. In a zone 1, you have a VM. Do you think that in the zone 2 also you have a VM? So that is not for sure. Okay. So the thing is that zone 1 will have some amount of resources. Zone 2 will have some amount of resources. Don't think that for zone 1 we have a VM, zone 2 will also have a VM. It may be having it, it may not be having it. So we have to make sure that the resources, availability of the resources across regions, across zones because it may be available, may not be available. The cost may be same or may not be same. Okay, so that is also one more important aspect that we have to take care. Okay, so what are the three things that we have to remember while selecting the region and zone, sir? The very first important point is that whenever you are deploying your application, look at your customers and understand where are your target customers. If your target customers are customers are there in one location, try to deploy the application near to them. In the near region, select the near zone or the near region, deploy there. Okay, likewise, whenever you are deploying your application, you try to deploy your application in a multiple zones if it is possible, in multiple regions, to avoid the unexpected failures. Okay, so due to the unexpected failures, if the zone is crashed, your resources are gone, your deployment is gone. So try to deploy your applications in multiple zones. The third point is that whenever you are deploying your application, look at the cost of it and look at the cost of the other zone as well. If which is feasible to you, try to do it. And some of the resources in the same zone within the region, if it is in one zone it is some cost, and one more zone it could be some more cost is also there. Cost may vary, and the availability of the resource in that particular region will also vary based on the zones and regions. So that is also a third point. While you are deploying it, these 3 points we must consider. Okay, finally, note, by understanding the GCP regions and zones, it allows organization to design and deploy their applications and services within a high availability, resilience, and optimal performance. Okay, so it allows organization to design and deploy their applications and services within high availability, resilience, and optimal performance. We have just selected. If you select those 3 points, that actually gives you the high availability, resilience, and optimal performance. One more important thing, that is, it is also helps meet data compliance requirements and enables data disaster recovery strategies. So what is this data compliance requirements, sir? So data compliance requirement is that the data owner, okay, the data to be there in only with few people. I mean, the data has to be owned by few people only. Assume that. Okay, let me talk about one of the examples which was happened recently, and we all know about it. Okay, let me talk about this game called PUBG. We are aware of this one, PUBG. So if you remember, like if you go back like 1 year before or 1.5 years before, the PUBG was banned in India. Okay, if you remember, it was banned in India. Do you know that what was the reason why it is banned? It was this, the reason was this one, data compliance. Okay, what is this one, sir? Let me try to talk. So assume that in India, this is India. In India, we have a plenty of people who are using the PUBG. Okay, there are plenty of the people. Okay, it becomes very famous. Many people are using the PUBG and they are getting entertained because of that. So what is the problem is that PUBG is not actually deployed in Indian servers. It was actually deployed. It was from the China. Okay, it was deployed in the China servers. Nothing but server is nothing but in China they have one data center. In this data centers, so they have deployed the PUBG application. Okay, now what is the problem, sir? So China is very near to India, that is fine, and they can able to access the application. The application is very fast. So what is the problem here, sir? See, every person in India trying to access the PUBG application, which was deployed in the China's data centers. Now the problem is that the entire data of the Indian people was actually not stored in India. The data, the personal data was actually stored in the China data centers. Okay, the personal data, their age, their information, email address, everything, all the information related to the Indian users is actually stored in the China's data center. And the data is information, information is money nowadays. Okay, So what is happening here? Now India came into the picture and they were asking that we shouldn't use the India because it was not deployed in Indian server. It was deployed in the China server. Our information is a threat to us only. So that's the reason Indian government has banned the PUBG in India. Okay, so no one will able to use the PUBG in India. And now if you remember, the PUBG again came back to, and they were saying that PUBG India is PUBG India came into the picture again. So even they know that this is a serious issue for a country like this. So what they have done, so the PUBG owners, they have deployed, they have taken one of the location in India, in Mumbai, they have deployed their application in Mumbai data center. But they took the one of the data center as a lease, and they deployed that application in the PUBG. So now it becomes PUBG India because it was deployed in the Indian data centers. Now the Indian government has no problem using this PUBG. Okay, it was not about many people are using it. It was not about it was a threat to the students. It's not like that. So it was a threat to the country, that the entire country's information, it becomes very famous. Entire country's information is stored in the other data centers outside the India. So it is a data compliance requirement. Data compliance is that the data owner is, whoever is residing the data, he should not be having a problem about it. For example, if I am storing the data in my laptop, that is not a problem with me. But if I have my data, it is there in my some other laptop, that's a problem to me because it is a data compliance to me. So that is the reason PUBG was banned at that time, and again PUBG came into the picture. They have deployed their applications in the Indian servers. Now it is good to go. So this is a data compliance requirement. So this is that much important to the GCP location. It's not about the one location. And if you have to understand, GCP was deployed in the cloud only. It is in the Azure cloud. They have deployed their application. So this much important where we have to understand the locations, GCP locations. So locations concept is throughout the cloud platform is same. Even though you go to the GCP or AWS or Azure, the cloud platforms, wherever you go, the locations concept is same. The only difference is that the location names is different, the zone names is different, the nomenclature is different, but the concept is same. Okay, so the concept is, this is a concept. There were 3 important points. Whenever you are deploying your application, look at the proximity, whether you are near to your customers or not. One more is that try to deploy your applications in multiple regions and multiple zones. And one more is that look at the cost and availability of the resources whenever you are deploying your application. This concept is same. Underlying concept never changes. Okay, only the names will change. So this is how the locations concept is very important whenever you are deploying your application and whenever you wanted to use your application by your customers. Okay, so it should be highly available, resilient, and optimal performance. Not only that, it should be data compliant enough. It should follow the data compliance requirements as well. So this is what is related to the GCP locations, sir. Okay, I think I tried to give you a lot more information related to the GCP locations. Okay, let me show you. Okay, whenever you wanted to let me go to the cloud platform and let me try to show you. Whenever we wanted to create any of the resources, where is this location part come into the picture? How we have to select a location, region, and zone? Let us try to look at it here. So, for example, assume that cloud storage. Okay. So if you wanted to create a bucket in the cloud storage, we will see what is a cloud storage. All of those things we will see in a very detailed, but for our understanding, where is this locations part come into the picture? Whenever we are creating a resource, let us see. So whenever you provide some name, so let me provide some name. So you see here, cloud storage is one of the solution in the GCP to store your data. If you wanted to store any amount of data, any number of files, any format kind of a data, if you wanted to store, you can actually go for the cloud storage. It's a very good solution to store your data. And whenever you wanted to store your data, so Usually where you actually store, if there is no cloud, what you actually do? If there is no cloud, what you actually do now, you will go to your laptop, okay, and you will try to store it. Or if you are unable to store it, you will try to store it in a one more hard drive. And if it is not enough, you will buy one more hard drive and connect it to your laptop. You will try to store it. So that is something physically in one of the laptop or multiple laptops you are trying to store the data. Likewise, whenever you upload your data to the cloud storage, that data is also physically stored in some location. Okay, so where do you want that to be? Okay, where do you want that to be? So do you want that to be in a single region? So that is nothing but a East, US1, US2, US3, or you wanted to store it in a multiple regions, Europe, Asia, Pacific, all of these things, or you wanted to store a multiple entire I mean, in US location will be there, right? In US location, our data will be stored. So this is how, whenever you are selecting a one resource, not only this one. For example, if you go to compute engine, also, if you are trying to create a one virtual machine, what will happen is that it's gonna be asking you physically where this virtual machine has to be created. So where is this one? You select the region here, and inside the region you select the zone here. So sir, I wanted to select, just now we have seen, sir, for example, I wanted to select Asia. So Asia South, if I go, so this is a South 1. So this is a Mumbai. Asia South 1 is a Mumbai. So we have a Mumbai South 1 CBA. So this is how you have to select. So that means, what is this mean? My application users are there near to Mumbai location. So that is the idea. Okay, so this is the important thing. Whenever you are creating any resource or whenever you are creating any deployment, important thing is that select a proper region, select a proper zone, which will be main important, making sure that the data is highly available. And one more thing is that if you have a plenty of resources in one location, the cost of that resource is very high. So that is also there. So that's the reason they say that the cost of the zones and regions in the resources are very high comparatively. But try to understand this point is that regions and zone selection is must, which actually is a game changer whenever you wanted to go for a high availability, resilience, and optimal performance when it goes to that. Okay. Yeah. So with this one, I am concluding the session for today with the GCP locations. And I wanted to highlight one point, guys, to all of you before opening the discussion session. So we have completed our 3 free demos. Okay, we have completed our 3 free demos. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and from Monday onwards, the classes are going to be only, new link will be shared, and only for those people who have registered for the course. Okay, new link will be shared for those people who have registered for the course. So try to do your registrations. Okay, you have a Saturday and Sunday, and try to do your registrations. And I will open up for the discussion session, guys, don't worry. And I just wanted to just announce this thing, that we have completed our 3 free demos, and my Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If anyone needs the access to these free demos, you can access, you can connect with that with our team. They will be able to help you or send you the video recordings. And don't worry about the, you can actually connect with them. They will provide you about the, I mean, all the details related to what is the course fee and how to get the recordings. And they will also share you the material, and they will help you with all of these things. Okay, and try to register before Monday. You will be going to get a free one more link, so that you will be able to continuously attend the regular classes. Okay, so that is one thing, guys. Yeah, so I'm going to be opening up the discussion session. So whoever is having any doubts related to the session, they can actually raise their hand, then I will go one by one. Okay, and we have here so far, yeah, there is one guy, Akshay Kesar, right? So yeah, you have one question, right? You can ask now. Yeah. Akshay, I can't hear you. Okay, I think I can't hear him. That's fine.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, actually, you are audible. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. So, sir, the related to material. So, material means like any documents or notes they are providing.
It's a notes, guys. It's a notes, and which was you can think of a running notes, and you can also think of more than running notes. Also, it will be having all the information. Yes.
Okay, so before the fees proceeding, they provide us, or after fee proceeded, then they will provide the free demos, notes and videos.
So free demos are free. You can actually connect with the team, and they will be providing you the free recordings. And once you are okay and registered, you wanted to further continue with the regular classes, you can register yourself. Once you have registered for the course, on Monday, the very first thing what I will do is that provide the access to my notes. Okay, so that is what I will do. And one more thing also I will do is that on Monday, the very second thing is that I will tell you how to create a free account in the GCP. Two things I will tell you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, is there any EMI option for the same?
I think that related to the fee structure and all of those things, you can
I
actually
need to connect with the. Okay. No problem, sir.
correct.
And one more question is, sir, that you said that for disaster recovery or for disaster recovery we need to select the like multi-zone, right? So yeah. So for the EC2, for the virtual machines in the GCP, when I need to create, then is there any option for the multi-zonal?
Yes, multi zones also there.
Okay, but when you select the like Asia Southeast one, so at that
Usually
time
what
only one.
happens is that I will talk about that point. So whenever you are actually selecting a resources, there are two things. So those services you have to be specifically select, because virtual machines is something different, but it's an infrastructure. Okay, we should not look at the infrastructure, but whenever you are deploying your application, select multi zones, select multi regions. So that is something, because that's where the users are connected. Let's not worry about the infrastructure. The infrastructure I'll be using as a developer, I'll be using. So those resources will be available. We will talk about this thing while we deploy your
Okay.
application. So that time you will get
Yes,
a good idea.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there is one more guy who is Roshan Agarwal. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, hi sir. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Good evening.
Sir, how can I get that what syllabus will be covered in this course?
So for the syllabus, I think I have shown you in our upcoming classes. You can actually,
Yeah, I missed
if
first class, sir.
the
Actually, I missed
first
first class.
two classes, you can actually go, but here it is. So we are covering
Oh,
cloud storage, cloud SQL, cloud spanner, bigtable, BigQuery, Dataproc, Dataflow, PubSub, Airflow, Data Fusion, and projects as well. And other than that, Google Cloud Platform, basic concepts that we are actually seeing, right? Yeah,
okay, sir. Okay.
yeah.
And it will cover in 45 days.
Yes, 45 days, yes.
Okay, thank
Yes. So we have Shaker here who is having a question. So Shaker, you can ask. Correct. So this course, two things I can tell you. One is this course will really help you get those concepts clear, one thing. And one more thing is that I will also give you, who are going for the certification, I will also give you few questions. So that will be really helpful to crack the interview. Okay. Yeah, some 200 plus questions. Yes. Correct. I think you can also download it. That's not a problem. You can also download it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. No, it's the region. So this is one of the point I wanted to clear it out, guys. So whenever you wanted to deploy something and you selected one region, but tomorrow you wanted to change the region, that's not going to be happening for you. If you wanted to do that, is that you deploy that in one more location, check it that is working properly, then disable this earlier application. That is the only thing that you can do, but you cannot change it. You cannot edit the region. That's not an editable option. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Yeah, we have here Deep and Rajesh. Yes. Correct. No, 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 it is happening. I'm going to tell you from Monday onwards. I have not told you how to create an account because these are the basic concepts, guys. These are basic concepts. These are the theoretical basic concepts. It will be for next 1 or 2 days only. After that, whatever we wanted to, we will be doing in the GCP. I will be doing in the GCP, and you spend your time and practicing. Okay, I'll tell you how to create account, and you will be practicing. So that is how it is. So entire thing, whatever we want. Correct. Yeah. Correct. So this course is mainly designed for 3 people, guys, who wanted to go for job, okay, and rise it, and who wanted to go for certifications, AS and PD. Okay, so this is the main. This course is designed for all of these 3 people. Yeah. For SQL, PySpark, Apache Beam, and DAG creations, all of these things practical only, guys. All of these things are practical, and we are going to implement the data pipelines. Yeah, they can learn it here, of course. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And yes, so we have Dinesh Kumar. Yeah, someone was asking him an interesting question that so the course is covering the topic migrating the MySQL data to Cloud SQL rhythm. Yes, it is covered, guys. It is covered. Using the data migration service, nothing but a DMS service. We are going to do it, and it is very practical. You're going to be very liking it. Yes. Okay. Yeah. If you want, I can show up here as well. So this is what it is. So you have a local machine, MySQL database is there. You wanted to migrate it. 2 ways I will be telling you, manual and data migration service. So we will be telling you that process. How do you actually do it? Okay. So we are having few tables. I'll be creating it and telling you how to do the data migration. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions? Yeah. We have Dinesh Kumar. Yes, Dinesh. Yep. So replication side, we always go for multi-zone options. Okay, we don't worry about how many are the number. We don't worry about it. If you wanted a regional service, then you go for multi-zonal. You wanted a global service, you go for multi-regional. Okay, so this is how you have to understand. So this is for regional service, and this is for global service. If your users are globally divided, go for the global. If your users are there in the regional, then you can go for the multi-zonal. Yeah, yeah. Yes, guys. Anyone having any questions? Yeah, Venkat CH. Yeah, hi. Solution architect, what do you mean by that? So it's more of a data engineering. So, and I mean, I wouldn't say that the solution architect is again, he has to design the solutions, right? Is again, if it is a data engineering related, we are covering here. No, 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 no. Sorry. No. This course is mainly designed for the data engineering. So who wanted to become a data engineer, or who wanted to get certified, or who wanted to enter into the data engineering world, and who wanted to become very good in the data engineering world, who wanted to become a data architect, this course is for them. Okay. Yeah. Again, so you have to understand architect is a in general word. See, architect is a in general word. So you have a data architect, you have a infrastructure architect, you have a cloud architect, you have a, so these are all. But when you look at the cloud architect and data architect, that is covered here. Yeah. And hi sir, after completing this course, we are able to crack GCP PDE exam. Means you are going to cover all the topics. Yes, I'm going to cover all the topics, and I will also cover the basic questions as well, which will be very useful. I will also provide you the material who are going for the certification. Okay, so make me remember, by the end of this course, I will also share you that. Yes, and Uday K. Hello, Saidhul. This is Uday. I have close to 10 years of experience as a ETL developer with 35 LPA, looking for transaction to cloud with big data. So one of the reason transaction is aiming to good pay rise, and can we give some inputs or level of experience? Of course, Uday, I'm going to tell you one thing that 10 years, I have seen 10 plus years, 12 plus years, 13 plus years. Learning one technology, learning one cloud, which actually gives you, because if you are already in the big data world, and this cloud will actually give you very good idea if you wanted to create solutions. So someone was asking about a solution architect, right? Solution architect is nothing but a creating, the one who is creating a solutions. You can create a, I mean, if you are having already 10 years of experience, right? Okay, if you wanted to have a kind of a knowledge in the GCPs, or I wanted to create some solutions in the GCP cloud, in such a scenario, you will be having a very good exposure to the cloud here. Okay, so you'll be able to build solutions, pipeline systems, processing systems, all of those things. Okay, yeah, very helpful for you. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, I think this is it. Yes, we are covering. Don't worry. The batch at which is starting at 8 p.m. they are already at Pice Park only. Okay, we are covering. Thanks for attending this thing, and if you are contact, okay, and payment, okay. Yeah, someone is asking when will show how to create a GIS. Yes, Monday I will show you how to create an account, sir. Don't worry, Monday I will provide you the access, and after the registration, till when we have access to the videos and notes, the next minute only you will be getting all of those things, sir. Once you complete the registration, you will tell them that I have completed the registration, and they will provide you the access to all of these things. Okay, that is one thing. I will tell you how to create an account, and I could not hear others' voice. See what to repeat the question, but course covers which certification? Cloud architect, database engineer, cloud data. Sir, it is going to be, if you are looking at a certifications, it is going to be very helpful for those people who are going for a AS certification and PDE. Okay, yes. And I see the data engineer. Yes, PDE nothing but a professional data engineer, associate cloud engineer.
Sir, S means
associate cloud engineer. So the basic concept that we are seeing that, right? So the basic concepts are very important for the cloud engineer. So who are cloud engineering is a less one. It is not a professional certificate. It is a basic certificate. Professional certificate is, which is very valuable. Professional data engineer, very valuable in the market. So that is very important.
okay. That means cloud engineer and data engineer. These two certification gets covered.
Correct.
Okay. Not for the architect, right?
Architect also covered. Cloud architect, a professional cloud architect. Yes, it is also covered. But
it is also covered.
Not all. Okay, maybe one or two topics are not covered, but 90%.
Okay, no problem. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all. So I think we are good. I think no one is having any questions. I think we have a Venkat CH here. Yeah. Usually the certification cost around $200. For each certification, yes, usually. But for the associate cloud engineer, it is around $80. But for the professional data, it is around $160. But you can actually, I will tell you. So whoever going for the certification, and you can do one thing. You can actually, there are few campaigns are going. If you attend to those campaigns, these you're gonna get a free vouchers or 50% free vouchers. So that I will tell you in our upcoming classes how you can attend the campaigns and how do you get this. Because $200, $160 is nothing but almost 15,000-16,000 rupees, guys, right? So I'm going to tell you how you can actually attend the campaigns and get a free voucher. I will also tell you, yeah. Sorry? Where? I didn't get you, sorry. How certification validity, it is more than 2 years. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, PySpark. So PySpark SQL data frames we're gonna be dealing with here. I'm gonna be creating a data frames on the data frames. If you wanted to transform the data, if you wanted to clean the data, if I have a CSV file, if I wanted to clean it, how do we clean it using a PySpark? We are going to learn it. Okay. Yeah. No. Big data is nothing but a BigQuery, data product, data flow. All of this comes into the picture. Okay. 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 Sure. Yes. So if you are you familiar with SQL? Just SQL? Yeah, that is more than enough. All of those things from the basics I will talk about. Okay, I will give you a SQL basics. I will not be talking, guys. That's the only thing I'm not talking. I want you to expect. I'm expecting that you will be having a little amount of basic concepts, but the SQL development, PySpark development, as well as Apache Beam development, I will be talking about. But I am expecting my students to have a basic understanding of SQL. What is how to create a table, all of those things, just basics. If you have, I'll be guiding you there from now on. Okay, yeah. Of course, I will be giving you the assignments for the SQL. I will also be giving you the assignments for the PySpark and Apache Beam, so that I will be tackling the basic concepts. I will be giving you the assignments. You will be cracking them. So that's where you will be getting the knowledge. Okay, so that's how it works. Project, we are going to implement it in the class itself. So projects we are going to implement in the session here itself. Okay. Yeah. We are going to practically implement the projects in our sessions only. Okay. Yeah. Someone is asking, sir, your name is Shivakumar. No, guys, my name is Shaik Saidhul. Saidhul. You can call me Saidhul. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Great. I am from Hyderabad. I am working in top MNC. I am from Hyderabad. I am a working professional. I am a cloud architect. I'm Accenture. I'm working in Accenture. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Okay, someone was PySpark. How much knowledge will be taught, sir? I think I'm telling you, you're gonna be very enjoying the PySpark. You will be getting a good knowledge on PySpark. I can teach you because we are going to spend almost 8 to 9 days on the PySpark only. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great night, guys.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there is a problem with my laptop actually. I don't know the problem is with the link or with my laptop, but I can join on the application like Android application from mobile, but could not able to join from the laptop. There is my Ubuntu laptop. Sir.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So for
So
that,
the link is getting refreshing, sir. When I fill the details like name, last name, number, and email ID.
okay,
After
don't
that,
worry. See, on Monday onwards, we're gonna be getting the Zoom link, I believe. So I think with that we will not be having it because this is a registration link. The registration link is for something every day we have to do the registration. But Monday onwards, what will happen is that there won't be any registration link. You will be directly joined once you click on the link. Okay. So that
okay,
problem
sir.
will not be there.
Every Saturday, Sunday will be off, right?
Yeah, will be off.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all.